Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Welcome back to the Jeff Crilley Show. Here's a man who makes me feel guilty for bringing donuts into the studio every weekend. Mark Wanish is his name. He owns the franchise to Burn Bootcamp. Is that how it's pronounced?
Yep, Burn Bootcamp.
Okay. And so tell me, now you didn't come up with this idea, but you bought into a franchise, and it's really a different philosophy, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is. So it started probably about 5 or 6 years ago. Devin and Morgan Klein. Devin played professional baseball out west in California. After he got out, and one of the things as he was coming up through the ranks, and if you've ever in professional sports, if you're not in the big leagues, you don't make nearly the money. And he was staying with his host mother, overweight, and she was one of the things he started. He had the passion. He said, I want to try and help her get to that place of having health and fitness and really making that a part of her life. So when he got out, it actually gave him the opportunity, and he said, this is something I'd like to do. And they started in a parking lot, had a bunch of women that came together, and it is targeted and it's focused, that it's designed. The model is built around women, and whether it's working mothers or women. Now, that's the core, and a lot of the decisions we've made have been there. Plenty of men still come, but there are isolated times where it's women only. And the idea was to really create that community and create that sense of belonging, sense of accountability, and all those things as you went. And really, it's almost like a family as you go. And it makes health and fitness not just something you do as a New Year's resolution, but ultimately something that you come up with as you turn around and say, this is my transformation. This is my new way of being and living.
Well, as they like to say in Texas, Mark, I wasn't born in Texas, but I got here as quick as I could. That's true for you as well. You're relocating here from another state.
Yeah, we actually just so we live in Charlotte, North Carolina right now. We put our house on the market, sold it fairly quickly, quicker than we expected, and I'm actually here with Carolee Gurney, who's going to be with you next in your next segment. But she's helping us to find a house and really get there. So
okay, so why Texas? Why Frisco?
Yeah, so we looked when we were looking initially. This has blown up so quickly, the franchise as a whole, and it looked everywhere in the Charlotte area, even the rest of North Carolina into Georgia, and we said, this is, if we're going to do it, let's go somewhere where we'd like to. I have family here, and so my cousins, my aunt and uncles are down here. We have a number of friends that were college classmates that have all migrated to the greater Dallas-Fort Worth area. And we said it kind of came down to some of the major metropolitan areas, the growth that's happening here with the different corporations and everything else, especially with the community focus of what we're doing. The idea of, even take Toyota as an example, coming to the area. So many people are coming from out of state, out of town, and when they get here, having somewhere that they can go that really allows them to become a part of something and to become a part of their community. And we really do enable that. And as we facilitate that, it really does make it easier for people, and people are drawn to that type of feeling.
Well, let's talk about your philosophy, because there's probably as many fitness organizations as there are donut shops in North Texas. In fact, you were telling me that your location is sandwiched between two donut shops.
Between a donut shop and an ice cream place.
So you got a steady stream of customers.
Exactly.
What happens at your facility? What is Burn Bootcamp?
So we do, and I mentioned earlier, it's designed around a whole life transformation. So we obviously we do boot camp style workouts. We have nine of those a day. But one of the things we also do is we do what we call focus meetings, and that's an opportunity for people to come in right at the beginning when they first start their membership or just start a trial and say, here's why I'm here. Here's the purpose, and I have low self-esteem. I want to be able to run with my kids. I want to, for whatever reason, I want to lose weight, tone up, but lose weight and tone up aren't typically the why behind it. And if you think Simon Sinek had, what's your why? Mm-hmm. It gets to the core of why you're there. And it's usually those things like self-esteem or, I need to have that confidence to go out throughout the day. And we really dive into that and say, how do we pair people up as we're doing these? While you work out in a group style setting, you still have a very focused on what's your need and how are we going to help you get there. Mm-hmm. And that community there really, really helps people.
Do you find that most people, they do know what to do to lose weight, eat right and exercise? Right?
There's no special sauce there.
But are there limiting beliefs? Are there bad habits that we get into? We're hanging around the wrong friends. What are you finding is the reason for us not achieving our goals?
So I think a lot of it is people know the basics of if I have to eat right and I have to exercise. The challenge is 80% of it is actually eating, and then your exercise needs to augment or support that. So and it's not just how many, everyone gets focused on the number of calories, which is interesting, but it's more the type of calories and what your macros are that you'll often hear people in health and fitness talk about is how much protein are you eating. You don't have to say, I have to eat nothing. Mm-hmm. It's still eat a normal amount of food that supports your body, but how much protein, how much of that is carbs, how much is fat. And it's not that you can't eat any of those. It's have it in the right balance. Have them at the right times of day. Make sure that you are, eating so that you support your body and fuel your body, not just eat because you want to be comfortable or you want to sit down.
Let's talk about the quality of people you're attracting to your boot camps, because I find that at one point in my life, I felt like I had to get in shape at home to even go to the gym because I was so embarrassed. Is it a place where you feel welcome and supported?
Yeah, the amazing part is when we get, and again, it is a group setting, but we have people who have literally never worked out in their life and other people who you'd mistake for training for the Olympics. And it's extreme levels of fitness, but they work out side by side. And because of the format where we'll describe the exercises as you go around, and there will be a modification up to whatever level you need to or down to whatever level. And there are people who come in and everyone walks out the same, dripping sweat and exhausted from their workout, with very, very vast differences in the level of fitness that they have. And
wow.
And you'll also see someone who's at an extreme level of fitness walking over and high-fiving the person who this is their first time working out and just saying, I'm so impressed by you, and you motivated me to be better. And that's the stuff that really is inspirational and cool to see.
That's the stuff that gets you, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, why is that?
Part of it is a passion. Like I saw when we started this, it's easier for guys, and guys can all through the military, playing sports through college, you kind of bump knuckles and you're bonded forever. It's you don't find that as often with large groups of women. And what you see here is you get them there supporting each other, and you really help, encourage that. And I saw it change my wife, and that's really what got us looking into this. I mean, we have 2 young children, and saying, hey, we're going to uproot our lives where we've been there and move across the country. That was a big deal, but we saw what it was doing. And I think her exact quote was, it'd be great if we could just bottle up what we have here and bring that somewhere else and expand that community. And, a lot of what Carol Lee's doing, as we said, the house is important, but not nearly as important as the community. And I think that's what we're trying to build with our gym and in the locations that we're going to have, but ultimately what we want in our lives.
I think that, you're really cool, Mark, and what I'm going to call attention to is you may be able to hear it in his voice. It's cracking a little bit, but you'll see this on YouTube later. This is something that you're really about. I mean, there's many ways to make a buck on this planet, but you're on a mission. Yeah,
it's the money comes, right? That's part of it. It is a business. I'm not gonna overlook that, but at the end of the day, it is the ability to do something. I have a day job that I'll do for a little bit longer, but the real passion is being able to do something where you can truly make a difference, and you walk away and say, hey, I've changed this community. I've changed and did things for the better. At the end of the day, when you leave, it's not how much money you have sitting there. It's what impact you made, and this is a good way to do it for us.
I think that's great. Now, were you a customer yourself before you became a franchise owner?
My wife was, and then as we both bought into it, I became a client as well. So as a member, and we still go to the one. There's one right across the street from our community in North Carolina, and so we go to that. And as we're here, I worked out three times this morning, so I'm a little bit tired, but.
And he ate 5 donuts. I just want to
5 donuts.
No, he didn't. Yeah, I tried to tempt him, but he wouldn't. So tell us about how you see North Texas being different from where you're coming from. Is it a different mindset? Is it a different kind of people?
No, it's very similar, honestly. There's anywhere you go, what you'll find is a lot of people who come from all walks of life, who all come together, and ultimately they're trying to be the best version of themselves, and really what we see in our personal network community, but also in the people who are members at the same locations that we're going to now, it's the same thing here. And you get a tight bond, you get a group of people who want to come together, want to be a part of something, and want to help each other, again, be the best version of themselves and help people. The cool part is we've seen people who've come and have been able to get off antidepressants or been, one of our clients or members has lost, I think, 8 dress sizes now. We've only been open, only been open 5 months. And
Wow.
And you look at that, but she's doing it the right way. It's not just taking off the pounds because she's not eating.
Right.
It's that mix of, what's the nutritional coaching doing for her? What's the exercise? And it's just the transformation is night and day.
And just seeing the confidence when she walks in now, it's got to be probably night and day since
and
first met her.
It is funny because she'll come in and she'll immediately go, "You look great," to everyone else, and they're like, "Well, we're trying to look like you," and it becomes this now compliment slinging fest, and it is amazing to see just how everyone comes in and they all hug, and many of these people didn't know each other prior to going, and there's hugs all around as they get ready to go into their camp and start their day.
Wow. Why do you think that we slip backwards? Because some people will be able to be disciplined for a time, but then they fall back and they yo-yo dieting. What causes us to slip back?
So it's hard, right? And I think part of this is, and that's where the community aspect comes in, is when you have someone else that's going to help hold you accountable. It's very hard for us to do this ourselves because you're gonna be tired, you're gonna be sore. You're going to really want that cookie or that donut that's sitting out there. And as you look at it, when someone else is, and even in a joking way, but as they say, "Hey, are you going today?" And you'll sit there and wrestle in your head, go, "Man, I told him I was coming. I don't want to come, but I'm going to go because I'll hear it for the next week, so I have to get up there." And some of that accountability, because some days you're being pulled and other days you're the one that's pulling. And that part of belonging and being there, you don't, especially as someone starts explaining, saying, "Hey, you know what, that everyone puts how many calories are on there." We were joking and said, instead of that, all the restaurants should start saying, "This is your burpee equivalent. You have to do 400 burpees for that one donut." Going, is it worth it? And then you kind of look at it a little differently.
Okay, give us the website. How do people find you?
You can go to burnbootcamp.com/Frisco-TX and you can sign up. We have a free 14-day free trial, so you get in, you get all the same benefits as a member, and you'll be able to come in and get to try it out, get to meet some of the other members that'll be working out with you and a part of that community.
That's awesome. Mark, you're a great guy, and I appreciate you being on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jeff.
When we come back in the final segment, if you're buying or selling a house, you have to meet my next guest. You won't want to leave home without her.
More of The Jeff Crilley Show coming up.